Good morning, children. This week we are going to carry on with our letter writing, and over the next few days we are going to write a letter to either one of your relatives or friends, telling them all about the fantastic work that the Hamble Lifeboat Station carry out. Now, so that we can prepare for this, we are going to practice today how to identify key information and write it as notes. So I'm going to attach two links to videos on the tapestry. One is called Hamble Lifeboat Documentary, and it's just under 10 minutes long, and it talks about all the things Hamble Lifeboat do. So you will need to watch this video. And I'm also going to give you a link to this little video. It's only 2 minutes long, and it's all about how Hamble Lifeboat Station celebrated their 50th anniversary. We also obviously saw a really lovely video previous Friday, which was shared to us by Paul and Marie. Unfortunately, we don't have access to this video, but we all remembered quite a few things from it, haven't we, children? So I'm going to show you how I have approached the note-taking today. So I have given my notes a title, Hamble Lifeboat Station. And then I have thought about, okay, well, what is it that I really remembered from that video about the Hamble Lifeboat Station that we all watched together during the Zoom call? One thing to remember with note-taking is you don't have to write full sentences, children. Isn't that exciting? You don't have to write the full sentences. What you have to write is the important information, which will then help you to write the full sentences tomorrow. So my first note is that the crew give up their free time. They are volunteers. That means none of them get paid to do the fantastic job they do. Isn't that amazing, children? So I think that's very important. So I want to include it in my letter. Yeah, I also remember that a crew come from all sorts of backgrounds, children. Do you remember we had that video where they were all getting changed from their normal work clothes into the rescue gear? And I do remember there was a lady from the Navy. I think there was a doctor. There was a bus driver. I'm sure you'll remember other people's jobs as well. And something that we all found interesting was that they don't only rescue people, they also rescue dogs. And finally, what I remember from the video that we watched together during the Zoom is that they helped people in a crashed aeroplane in the middle of the Solent. Do you remember that part, children? There might be some other bits that you have remembered, children, which you could add to your notes. Then what I did, in order to prepare my notes, I watched this video first. I watched the Hamble Lifeboat documentary. And as I watched it, I paused the video. Every time I would hear an interesting fact, I would pause the video and I would write a note about it. Then I'd go back to the video again to listen for more information. So my notes, which I have made during listening the video about a Hamble Lifeboat documentary, as I remember that they are independent. And this is very important. It means that they can decide what sort of boats they have. But they work with RNLI. So if there is a call out for a rescue team, they are called as well as RNLI. I know that Hamble Lifeboat have a jet boat. And they've mentioned it in the video, and they also said this is important because it is specifically designed for shallow water. Now, also remember them saying that this is important because they sometimes have to rescue children stuck in mud. Can you imagine that, children? Now, my another note says that they are a charity. So that means they need donations. They need 30,000 a year. That's a lot, isn't it? You know that they save lives, and from the video I picked up that they cover a rather large area from Lee on Solent all the way to Cowes on the Isle of Wight, and then back to Leap, which is in the middle of New Forest, children. That's a big, big area of water. What was also interesting was that they do patrols. So they man the station and they man the boat, and often you see them driving up and down the Solent patrolling if there is anybody that needs help. Another idea that I picked up from the video is that they are extremely busy during the summer because loads of kite surfers and windsurfers get into trouble. They also mentioned that Hamble is a busy river and that they attend to boats in trouble. In order to raise money, they have collection pots. And that's all the information from the Hamble documentary video. And then I watched the video about the 50th anniversary in 2019. So my notes say that they celebrated the 50th anniversary in 2019. They attend over 100 incidents a year. That's almost one every 3 days, children, which I find really amazing. And then finally, just on the River Hamble, there are 4,500 boats, which just sounds incredible. So I have made all these notes because that's really, really either really interesting facts or really important information. And I think it would be really lovely to share these facts with my family or friends. The next thing that we need to do, children, is we need to group this information together, ready for our letter writing tomorrow, to start our letter writing tomorrow. So I got my highlighters. I do love my highlighters, children. You can do it differently if you like. You can use highlighters, you can use coloring pens, or you could do a spider diagram. But what is important is to group the information that is going to go together in our sentences tomorrow. So green, in my notes, is for all the information about crew. I've used yellow for all the information about the types of rescues that they do and who they help. Then I have used sort of like light blue about all the information about the funding and the money that they need. I have also used purplish purple pink for all the other information, especially about sort of what is special about Hamble Lifeboat Station as opposed to any other lifeboat stations. And then finally, I think this is extremely important information. I have used this different color for what to do if you are in danger and you need help and you are on water. So today's task, children, is to identify key information and write it as notes. So you would write in your line books today's date and this learning intention. Then as you start writing your notes, try to remember what did you find really interesting in the video that we watched together with Paul and Marie during our Zoom call, and then watch the 2 videos, the links of which are going to be attached to the tapestry post. Stop whenever you hear an interesting piece of information and then write it down in a note form in your book. You can use bullet points like I have done. You can do it whichever form you find easy to understand, because we are going to be using that information tomorrow to start our letter writing. I'm looking forward to seeing your notes on Tapestry today. Bye for now.